Our country, India, the largest democracy of the world, is moving towards completing 75 years of its independence from British colonialism. We are getting ready to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee of our country's independence. The contribution of women of the country, who constitute almost half of the population, needs no introduction in the independence that India has gained from the British. The role and contribution of a number of brave and courageous women in the national liberation movement, starting from Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi and Avantibai Lodhi, who set examples from the supreme sacrifice of their lives in the first attempt for the freedom of the country in the year 1857 AD to the independence of Bharat in the year 1947 AD has been written with pride in the golden pages of our history. These pages also hold in respect the names of Bhikhaji Rustam Kama, Sarojini Naidu, Amrit Kaur, Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay, Durgabai Deshmukh, Maniben Vallabhbhai Patel, Lakshmi Sehgal, Usha Mehta, and so many others who proved that Indian women are capable of meeting the biggest of the challenges when their countrymen are at stake. After the independence of India, women have played an important role in the reconstruction of the country at all levels in all walks of life. Whenever women got opportunities, be it the social field or education, science, politics or economic, or art, culture and literature, they well proved from their hard labor, dedication, talent and skill that they could do whatever man can for the progress of society and the nation. Not only this, in some of the fields, including science and politics, women have done phenomenal work, and we are all aware of this fact. Hence, there is no need to go in details thereof. After the independence of the country, with the aim of empowering women through their participation in various walks of life, steps were also taken from time to time in which some could be called very important. The provisions of equal right to vote and other rights in the Constitution, the Special Marriage Act of the year 1954 AD and the Hindu Marriage Act of the year 1955 AD respectively should be seen in the context of the steps taken for women. The Succession Act of the year 2005 AD, followed by the ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court of India with the sole purpose of making it more effective, by the most concrete effort towards the empowerment of women. More works have been done in this direction in the country. The manner in which, during the last few years, construction of toilets at large scale, especially in homes in villages, arrangements for gas connection in far away villages, etc., could also be considered on priority in the context of the welfare of women, especially from their respect and honor and health viewpoint. But after 46 years of the freedom of the country, in the year 1993 AD, the provision made through the 73rd and 74th Amendment in the Constitution of India for the 33% reservation in panchayats municipal bodies for women was in fact a revolutionary step in the entire history of India to pave the way for women empowerment. This move got further impetus when the provinces like Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Rajasthan and Uttarakhand increased this women's reservation from 33 to 50%. It was thus a concrete step towards bridging the ironic women's discrimination and gender-based inequality that had been existing for centuries. Other provinces or states should also follow the suit to increasing women reservation in panchayats and municipal bodies from 33 to 50%. Side by side, there is still much more to be done in this direction. On priority, a similar arrangement is expected in the provincial legislatures and the parliament as well. It is the need of the hour. With their participation in governance, through their solid representation in the principal law-making bodies, women will undoubtedly step forward rapidly towards ensuring their empowerment and self-reliance. I would also like to point out one more fact here. Women's empowerment and self-reliance, irrespective of the legal arrangements, can be ensured only when the male class accepts the reality of unavoidable contribution of women and the veracity of their role in the progress of society and the nation. In this regard, through the change in their mindset, they should be firm to move forward shoulder to shoulder with women. This situation may seem difficult, but it is not impossible. In India of today, standing at the door of the diamond jubilee of its independence, the male community has to take a pledge to keep their women equally respectable by giving them equal opportunity for progress of the country. It is only that thing can change at the grassroots level. In the end, it is apt to sum up with Mahatma Gandhi's words: man can never be a woman's equal in the spirit of selfless service with which nature has endowed her. Let us make them our partner in every area for our country to grow